Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some romance recommendations. So I have broken these down into each category of romance. Some I read way more than I would read any other. So we will start with least read categories and then go on to my most read. So first up, we'll start with novellas. Most of these are contemporary. I have a couple of like fantasy in here, but novellas are like a very specific kind of reader's type. Not everybody likes novellas. So we will start with Faye's Captive by Lily Archer. This is a quartet of novellas following one couple. One is a human and one, I'm not quite sure what exactly he is. I think he's human as well. They are fated mates and it's like just steamy and fun. It's fantasy. And then Your Dad Will Do by Katee Roberts. This is a ex-fiance's dad and it's just them smashing, basically. And then we have I Think I Might Love You by Christina C. Jones. This is a misunderstanding to lovers story about a woman who has a chance encounter with the hero and then they get off on the wrong foot. She has to volunteer at the vet clinic that he works at and it goes from there. And then lastly, we have The Roommate by Brandi Bush, which is exceptional. This is a roommate's parents erotica. It's not necessarily a romance. It doesn't end in HEA. She goes and spends the weekend with her friend and with her friend's family. She has like a crush on her parents, and it goes from there. So then we have some fantasy romances that I would recommend. We have Monsters by Katie May. This is a reverse harem. She is Dracula's daughter and she goes to like a monster school and has like a relationship with a bunch of guys at the school. Next up we have Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. Incredibly popular series. And it is about women who crash land on this ice planet and they have like a fated mates element, and the first one is them actually crash landing. She is going out to save the women that she crashed with, and she runs into her blue daddy. And then last up is Radiance by Grace Draven. This is a very, very, very sweet friends to lovers story about two people who have, well, one human and one, he's called a Kai, and they have to get married to strengthen the alliance between their two races. And it's very sweet. Initially they are not physically attracted to each other at all, but they build a very strong friendship and their romance goes from there. Very sweet, very slow burn, and it's just a lovely. So then we have some historical romances. My first recommendation is going to be The Duchess Deal by Tessa. This is the story of a woman who's a seamstress, and she has made this wedding dress for this duke's fiance, and when they break off the marriage, she ends up showing up in the dress basically saying like, you still have to pay me. And he brings her in an arranged marriage situation. The hero, Ash, is a damaged hero. He has scars, and so he's not really out in society, and he feels like they would think he's a monster. He, on the low, is like a vigilante saving people in the night, and through her love and through the relationships with the people that she brings into his life, he kind of realizes that people don't think he is a monster, and he grows from there. Very, very sweet. And Tessa Dare has a very like modern way of writing. So if you're intimidated by historical romances, I would recommend starting with her. So then we have the Destiny's series by Beverly Jenkins, the first one being Destiny's Embrace. And this one follows a woman who becomes the reluctant housemaid to a guy that owns a family ranch, and he does not want her there, so it is a bit of an enemies to lovers situation. It's very easy to read and I really enjoyed it. It's pretty simple, very linear, and it's just a quick little read. Next up we have An Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. This is a spy romance between a Union spy who is undercover in a Confederate general's house, acting as the daughter's like maid or something like that, and the male is also a spy. And then next we have again The Magic by Lisa Klepis. This is kind of a two romances in one. It follows two sisters. One is a second chance romance with a servant boy whom she kind of pushed off when she was a child, and the other sister has a romance with his friend, like I think it's 15 years in the future. Kind of hard to like get past that barrier and connect to the characters because you're getting two romances at once. But I really like both the heroes. Both of the heroines are kind of very similar, I would say, but both of the heroes are really enjoyable, and I think I like one more, and I wish that her sister and her hero had had a separate book, but they don't. And then lastly, we have The Forbidden Duke by Darcy Burke. This is actually considered a novella, but a very low angst, very sweet story about a spinster who has to become a companion because her father basically loses all of their money. And she becomes a companion to the stepmother of the hero. The hero was part of was friends with the guy that ruined her during her second season. And so he feels kind of indebted to her, and he has to help her come out in society again. And it's very low angst, very sweet, older people. And then we will go on to my contemporaries, which is a very, very long list. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna pick 5, I think. So first up is a Mafia romance called Menace by J.M. Darhower. I absolutely love the hero in this story. He is a mafia boss, or a mob boss, but he is humorous and he does puzzles, and just the complexity of his character is very interesting, and the plot itself is pretty interesting. It's about a woman who is attempting to escape someone from her past that wants to get back at her. So then we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This is about a woman with autism who has never really experienced a strong sexual relationship. So she hires an escort to kind of show her the ropes, and it's their romance. Oh man, only 3 more. Next up, I'm going to go with Haven by Rebekah Witherspoon. This is a BDSM romance, and it follows 2 people who were involved in a very traumatic event and how they kind of come together to deal with their trauma, seek solace in each other, and then eventually a relationship starts. It is a dom sub. The male is the dom, the female is a sub. I'm trying to find ones that I haven't really talked about all that much, because most of these I have yelled from the rooftops about. So the last recommendation that I'm going to give you is Tangled Vows by Anna Stone. This is a sapphic dom-sub relationship, married in Vegas situation between an escort and a businesswoman, and it's pretty short and steamy. The dom definitely gives off Christian Grey vibes, I'm so misunderstood, but I think the other heroine really kicks her butt and is chill out, and it was pretty sexy. So those are going to be my romance recommendations for you. Comment your thoughts down below on any of the books that I talked about, or recommend me some romances. I would love to chat with you about them. But other than that, I will catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.